Well, next week, the Biden administration is expected to ask Congress for more than $2 billion in military aid for Israel as a response to the Hamas attack. You know, from Ukraine to the terrorists to the aggression of China and the migrants on the southern border, some say the threats continue. Republican Senator Dan Sullivan of Alaska joined us, member of the Armed Services Committee. Senator, good to see you. First on to Israel and the $2 billion. What do you expect will happen? Do you think that'll be enough?
Well, we'll see. Whatever the Israelis are asking for, Eric, I think we should provide. And, you know, you actually wrote a great piece recently about what we did our country 50 years ago in a similar situation when the Yom Kippur War broke out. A critical component of supporting Israel at that time was the massive amount of military and intelligence support the United States gave to Israel. We should do nothing less in this case to support our most important ally in the Middle East.
Thank you for mentioning that. I'm going to tell the viewers, if they haven't read it, I wrote a story about...
It's a good piece and a good reminder, right? We did the right thing then, and I think it's important to remember we should do it again now.
That we did. The story was about President Richard Nixon in 1973 during the Yom Kippur War, when Israel was surprised. The president was in the Oval Office and actually said, quote, "Get Israel what it needs, now, now." And it was President Nixon and the military, in order to get warplanes to Israel. Ready for this one? They came up with this, sounds like a cockamamie plan, Senator, but it worked. They hopscotched the warplanes from aircraft carrier to aircraft carrier in order to get those planes to the Middle East. President Richard Nixon understood the threat. He basically helped save the Jewish state. Do you believe that we face that same situation right now? We're back at that same point, basically, 50 years ago?
Yeah, the threats are huge. And, of course, it's all driven by Iran. And this is the one thing where this administration, the Biden administration, has failed on. The appeasement of Iran from day one with this administration, you know, has been a policy failure of a huge magnitude. And, you know, if one thing comes out of this horrendous, horrible attack on Israel and innocent civilians, 1,300 slaughtered last week, the highest number of Jews killed like this since the Holocaust. If one thing that is good that could come out of this, not good, but an awakening by the Biden administration that they need to bring tough policies against Iran. Iran, as you know, Eric, is behind all of this, whether it's Hamas, Hezbollah, just like they've been for decades. They've spent decades killing Americans, Jews, and we need to wake up to the fact that we need to be much tougher on them, and this administration has clearly failed in that regard.
Senator Dan Sullivan, the computer's going to cut us off. We'll have you back. I thank you for speaking out. Qatar, Hamas, Iran, our ally. That's the next step. We'll be right back.